Arsenal are playing really good football. They play much better football than Chelsea. Any Chelsea fan who rejects that, I don't want to speak to you, because I have no time for tribalistic fans. I despise tribalistic fans. For Arsenal, they look good. And if Jesus is fit for most of this season and doesn't have a major injury, I don't see how Arsenal don't get top 4. In those tough games, those games where you're not playing well, things aren't going by your wayside, do you have a plan B? I always try and keep it real. Always try and keep things as real as possible. And I just think that, I had to do this video to respond to the, attacks that people have said with regards to my views on Arsenal and some people viewing that I may be unfair in my assessments of Arsenal. You see, I always keep things real. I always keep things real, and I may say things that may rub people the wrong way, that people will not agree, but it is always coming from a truthful place. I love football too much. I've watched football for too long not to give you that real wasabi. But there is a but. I have to have a confession. I have to make a confession. This all started back with Lampard. That fateful game before your boys played against Arsenal, maybe Arsenal. And we all saw what happened. Shout out to, I think, was it Martinelli and your boy Smith Rowe. And you look at the game last season with your boy Nketiah. Again, same what's up. So it's always an element of fun. But my sort of poking at Arsenal has been from a place of personal frustration. Personal frustration with the incompetence at the bridge. And when you're angry, you want to act out and you want to just blame someone and just direct your anger towards someone. So, Arsenal, look at these guys. What else can these guys do? So that was me projecting. So let me just give you, before I give you an assessment, let me just tell you something real here. So I remember I was on the terrace. You know how I always have these jerseys around, and for me, these jerseys are just about players who I high rate. At the best, I high rate them. So if you're retired, and I highly rate you from a technical point of view, you get put up on the rafters here. So all these players are all vouched for. Where I say, from at their best, because sometimes means to breaks. At their best, at the technical level, these guys said what's up. So remember I was on the terrace and I had an Henry jersey, and I think a Chelsea fan said, "Wait, who does this guy support, man? This guy, why does this guy have an Arsenal jersey up there?" And then I was like, I'm a different kind of a fan. So another story. So Chelsea's rival is supposed to be, one of their main rivals is supposed to be Tottenham. Obviously, where the local rival is Fulham. You could argue Brentford now. You say Arsenal to a degree, United to a degree, but really Tottenham's always been a main rival. And I remember, I'll tell you a story. This is when I used to walk near Parsons Green. This was like years ago, market research. So I used to pass by Fulham Broadway, the area and so forth. So take the train over to my place of work. And I remember this. I used to work weekends, and I was on the train, and then there was these Chelsea fans who obviously, I think they were playing sort of, but these Chelsea fans who were singing about gassing Jews. So obviously you know that Tottenham is there are a lot of Jewish people that support Tottenham and so forth. So there's a massive Jewish community. So Chelsea fans were talking about gassing Jews. So I said to myself that, so to be a real Chelsea fan, and I have to be singing about gassing Jews. So I'm not a Chelsea fan because I've got an Henry jersey on because he's an Arsenal guy. For me, I don't play that. For me, I don't view Tottenham as a rival. I don't view Arsenal as a rival. I don't view these guys as rivals. They're just other teams that I played. I supported football before I supported Chelsea. So football will always be number one. Because when I came from Nigeria to England, my favorite player was always this Zola. So that was my favorite player, Zola. And then I said, oh yeah, I support United. I support this. Oh, so maybe I should follow a team. So who does my favorite player play for? Chelsea. Okay, I suppose I'll support Chelsea. So it didn't begin with Chelsea. It began with Zola. So I've always been, footballers. So my thinking is, I don't for Henry. Henry is the best player to ever grace the Premier League. And when we had the debate of like who was the best midfielder, Scholes, Lampard, or Gerrard, Scholes. I don't have to choose Lampard. Scholes is the best midfielder out of those three. But let's go back. Arsenal. So my thing with Arsenal here is this. Personal grievances aside, personal thinking aside, this is my balanced critique. Arteta is building something. And Arteta is building a very interesting team. He's taking what he learns from Pep Guardiola in terms of usage of the ball, creating triangles, keeping the ball on the ground, playing football the right way, the right technical, intricate way, focusing on technical players and ensuring that players have a technical proficiency with the ball. And you're now seeing this process for many years now begin to bear fruit because, you know, eighth place. Then they should have gotten fourth. Everything was them on them getting fourth, specifically after they beat Chelsea and Man United. But it all fell by the wayside. But now you now have Saka he's now getting a lot more mature. Odegaard is growing much more into the team. He's been given the captain's armband. Saliba has totally improved that the defense now. And the guy I'm most fearful of is Jesus. I've been preaching about Jesus for years. I've always said, Jesus, this is a quality player who Pep Guardiola is holding back. And now you're seeing him play with the freedom that should be allowed from a Brazilian from the favelas. 100%, because he is playing with that freedom that a favela Brazil boy should be given. So, Arsenal not going to win the league. Let's just they're not going to win the league because it's over 80 games and we all know who's winning the league. It's Man City. Like, I've already given up to the title and accepted that City will win the title. But things are going in the right direction. Because this team has a personality, it has a character. We all know what's happening at Chelsea, the bridge, and there's currently a civil war happening amongst Chelsea fans because I'm trying to get Mason Mount out of that freaking club, bro. So that's what another sense. I have a crusade to get Mount out of that club, but that's our Chelsea civil war. For Arsenal, I'll be real with Arsenal. I play really good football. They play much better football than Chelsea. Any Chelsea fan who rejects that, I don't want to speak to you because I have no time for tribalistic fans. I despise tribalistic fans. Because for me, football should always be top. So you should, even if you support a club, you should take a step back and be like, okay, what is the footballing truth here? The footballing truth is, bro, like, of course I'm going to put Henry on the rafters. Or you, as a Chelsea fan, you should put Henry there. No, I love football more than anything. You see, and this is the scary thing. There are people who love Chelsea more than football. Say, wait, how does that make sense? There are people who will put Chelsea above everything, even if it doesn't make any football sense. As long as it makes sense to support Chelsea, they'll do that. That is not me. I told you, I despise tribalistic fans. I am always about football. What is the footballing truth here? So, for Arsenal, they look good. And if Jesus is fit for most of this season and doesn't have a major injury, I don't see how Arsenal don't get top four. And if Liverpool and Chelsea don't get their acts together, Arsenal could really flirt between third and second. They could flirt. They could flirt between third and second if Liverpool and Chelsea don't really get their acts together. But what I've always said is, Arteta is still a rookie. He still doesn't have the wealth of experience that other managers do. Yes, he's won the FA Cup, the Community Shield, but with regards to now, people say he now wins the league, or for sure they're going to get top four. I still have questions as to, in those tough games, those games where you're not playing well, things aren't going by your wayside, do you have a plan B? Do you have a plan C? Do you have an alternative? Because see, you don't have the luxuries that Pep has, because Pep has luxuries in terms of his squad is superb. He has an amazing squad and highly total quality players. Man for Man, City are like the best team in the league. So Arteta, you don't have that luxury that Pep does, where Haaland can score out of nowhere. Gundogan can score out of nowhere. You don't have that luxury. So in those difficult games, because those difficult games will come where the team just isn't playing well. Every manager runs into that brook of like, nothing is happening, but we just need a result. You can't just say, oh, no, we must not. You need a result. Do you have the ability in your managerial toolbox to be like, okay, we're not playing well. This is a bad day. We need something. If we could get a point, cool. If we could get 3, cool. If it's ugly, it's dirty, cool. Because that will be the difference between whether they can really get that top four or maybe flirt with third and second or whether they may miss out. But so for me, look, I said like, for Arteta, aka Light Bulb is alright. Like, he's doing his thing. And for me, I was one of those guys that had questions about him. And especially when they came with it, I was like, who is this dude? But he's been proving me wrong. Because the tail end of last season, when they were almost got fourth, I was like, whoa. Then they messed up. But the way they've started, their acquisition of Saliba and, again, I say again, freaking Jesus, I'm like, wait a minute. He could do something. He could genuinely do something else. So it's a ways to be seen. Do Arsenal get top 4? That's what I'll say. If Jesus or Saliba do not get a major injury and they don't have any real major injuries, I don't see how they don't. Now, if that happens, that means someone's going to drop out. And I've said that Tottenham will get second. I have questions about Liverpool. And I will not come out and say anything about Chelsea Football Club. I will not say it here. All I'll say is I said Tottenham will come second. I do have questions about Liverpool. And I won't say anything about Chelsea. But with regards to winning the league and being invincible, Arsenal fans, relax. Relax.